And the ECB coming out with its announcement any minute. It has just broken. Let's go to John Ferro in London with the latest. John?
Scarlett, no change. There was really no decision to make on the rate side of things. You're looking at a benchmark rate of 0.05%. You can't go much lower than that, Scarlett. Today was all about the press conference that comes in 45 minutes' time. Mario Draghi, ECB president, has got a mission. He wants to get the balance sheet up by €1 trillion. The big question is, how does he do that? He's got a cheap funding programme called the TLTRO, the Targeted Long-Term Refinancing Operation. The appetite from banks at the moment is not very big for that. So what does he do? Well, today is about a plan about buying ABS here in the Eurozone. Big questions. How big is that plan going to be? How much risk is the ECB going to put on their balance sheet? And how much opposition is going to come from the Bundesbank?
John Ferro, I'm curious. The lending facility that the ECB maintains for its member banks, negative 20 basis points. In other words, you give us your money, we're going to charge you. How are banks responding to that?
How are banks responding to that? Not clear right now. And actually, if you look at the take-up of the loans from the TLTRO, Adam, it was very, very small, 82.6 billion euros, which tells you something. There's not much demand for credit out there. Never mind about easing credit and making these banks lend. There just isn't the demand there. If there was, that take-up would have been a lot bigger, Adam.
Yeah, understandable. And ECB President Mario Draghi, as you pointed out, John, is going to be addressing all of us at 7, or rather at 8:30. That's in 45 minutes, 8:30 New York time. What are we going to hear from him?
I think we go back to what I said about 2 minutes ago. It's about how big this asset-backed security purchase plan can actually be. He's not going to come out with a size. Nobody expects him to do that. But everybody expects him to talk about eligibility. There's been some talk in the UK media about him buying Cypriot and Greek assets, junk bonds. That would assume a lot of risk for the ECB's balance sheet. And it brings us back to what I talked about, which is the opposition to conducting these kind of policies, the opposition to assuming so much risk on the ECB's balance sheet. And Adam, you don't need me to tell you where that opposition is going to come from.
All right, I want to bring in Adam Parker, our guest host for the Hour of Morgan Stanley. You're the chief U.S. equity strategist there. When Mario Draghi speaks at 8:30 a.m. and potentially gives details on his asset-backed securities purchases, what kind of effect would that have on the earnings potential of U.S. companies?
Well, I don't know about the earnings in the near term, but I hear this stuff and I think I like U.S. stocks, right? I look around, I think I like the biggest 50 or 100 U.S. equities. I think they have a better cash flow potential and better growth potential than most other asset classes I see. So,
although you said that you like small caps,
I like small even more. I mean, in other words, no, to me, you look at the U.S. and you tell me what you think looks better. You want to buy government bonds that yield 1% in other countries. You want to buy.
So there is no alternative.
So to me, I just think the U.S. really does look. It's not even the best house in a bad block. It's just a good house in absolute terms.
If I'm hearing you right, you're also talking about barbelling your portfolio. You like the largest 50. Okay, fine. That's a proxy for U.S. growth. But you also like the Russell 2000, which is about, 1,200 basis points cheaper.
I just think tactically it's oversold too much, too, and they'll catch up, for the reasons we talked about. But, yeah, that's kind of what I think. I don't know if it has an immediate impact on corporate earnings. I just think it makes me feel pretty good about the U.S. economic strength relative to the other parts of the world and the U.S. Earnings outlook.
Well, Jonathan Ferro, tell us the earnings outlook for European companies, especially as so many investors await Mario Draghi and look for him to do something more than just this modified QE. They're waiting for full-blown QE.
Well, Scarlett, if we look at about 12 months back when everybody was complaining about the strength of the euro, a lot of the noise didn't just come from the politicians. It came from some of these big exporters here in Europe. Over the next couple of quarters, now we've seen the euro come down substantially, you may see that start to feed into earnings. So a lot of people talking to me, a lot of equity strategists, fund managers, picking out the stocks with the international exposure to get that translation effect from the weaker currency. What I'd say back to you, Scarlett, is look at Japan. Dollar yen. It got very, very weak. Helped corporates in the short term. Look at the economy now. What's the economy doing? Doesn't look good, does it?